So Love Lies Bleeding gave me the full A24 experience. It had sex, it had gayness, it had violence, it had weird things coming out of people's bodies that I did not know was coming. It gives you every single thing that you come to expect from an A24 film, and with an extra added bonus, you also get a crime drama, a crime family drama, if you will. This was an experience in the movies that I desperately needed. Seeing some pretty mediocre films since Dune Part 2, this is the next movie that I've seen that's actually like got me excited to talk about it. So let's dig into the story a little bit. Essentially, the movie is about two women who cross paths at a local gym, one named Jackie, played by Katy O'Brian, who is a bodybuilder who wants to make it to Vegas for a competition. And she's homeless. She's trying to figure out how to make ends meet, feed herself, do whatever she needs to do, whatever she needs to do in order to keep herself well fed and getting prepared for this competition. And on the other side, you have Lulu, played by Kristen Stewart, who's a dope actress, by the way. Don't let the Twilight fool you. Also, can I talk to y'all for a second? We gotta stop seeing actors in certain movies that are just not good and just assuming that they're not good, right? I mean, Robert Pattinson seems to be doing pretty well for himself. And Kristen Stewart, I've seen her in a bunch of stuff after Twilight that I thought that she was really good in. So I just wanted, just a little public service announcement. Anyway, these two actually run into each other at a local gym and they form a relationship with each other. They have good, hard lesbian sex. They're enjoying one another. They have camaraderie. Lou is helping Jackie get prepared for her bodybuilding competition in Vegas, and Jackie's helping Lou get her rocks off. It's a pretty good, relationship. But they actually do like each other. It's not just, transactional. But despite their incredible relationship, there are some pretty dark matters hovering around them. That's where Ed Harris comes in, Lulu's father, who's also named Luz. I guess Lulu is Lou Jr. Do girls get a chance to be junior? I don't know. Ed Harris is a vet in this game and he kills it with this ridiculous cul-de-sac long-haired wig, which I guess I can call ridiculous because I'm from Philly, I'm not from Texas. I don't see a lot of that. But essentially, Lou is the dark cloud hovering over this situation. So we have our crime thriller, we have our lesbian gay romance, and some of the things that I really enjoyed about this movie, when you mix all of those things together, is the tension that the movie provides. This movie is a day in a life, a week in a life actually, of all of these characters. Rose Glass, the director of our film, does such a good job weaving the different storylines within this movie and making it a cohesive adventure. I wouldn't even call it an adventure. I call it a dark adventure if you want to. You also have the way the film looks. This film is gorgeous. I'm not sure who the director of photography is, but they did an amazing job. And that's also something I want to bring up about A24 in general. I've never seen an A24 movie where I thought, this doesn't look good. All of them are gorgeous. Whether you're talking about Green Knight, Midsommar, which is not a movie I particularly like. I know that's a hot take, but at least it looked amazing. What makes this more visually stunning is what Rose Glass does with colors as well as sound effects. I know that's not visual. There are parts where Jackie's either working out or she's getting upset and she has this anger about her. What happens normally when people get upset? They tense up, right? Their muscles tense up, but she's a bodybuilder. So when her muscles tense up, it's visualized. You see the veins popping. Not only do you see the veins popping, you hear them popping. That sound effect, however she did it, was almost like, oh snap, someone's in danger. You guys remember the Quentin Tarantino movie Kill Bill? I'm doing this terribly, so I'm going to insert that right here. Whenever you heard that sound, it was about to go down. In a very similar fashion, you hear that sound, it's about to go down, or Jackie's feeling a certain way. And I just loved how those sounds were used and how those visuals were used. Another version of visual aesthetics being used to tell the story were all the different parts in which Rose Glass cut to Ed Harris's character or some other character just dipped in red. Those particular scenes, which were not many in the movie, they also told a story. They were a subplot to themselves, and I found that to be very creative as well. This movie is incredible in that regard. Let's talk about the violence. There's a portion of this movie where our violence leads to a couple people being murdered in brutal ways. I mean, Mortal Kombat, jaw hanging off, brutal ways. The way that those practical effects were handled, I mean, I wanted it to get off of my screen, but I also wanted to keep looking because as disgusting as it was kind of dope to look at in a twisted fashion. Horror movies in general, or a movie like The Thing, right? Which I guess you could also call a horror suspense movie. When those practical effects happen, they feel more tangible than digital effects. Now, there have been some digital effects that have looked amazing. Look at Evil Dead Rise that just came out last year. But when Rose Glass does use those special effects, it is used brilliantly. There's a scene at the end of this movie where I was just floored by some of the things that were happening on screen. You get to the end, and it's a final confrontation between everybody, and something happens, and the movie goes full A24. Like, I cannot believe this is on my screen right now. So how many sparks do I give this movie? I'm going to give this movie 4.5 sparks out of 5. It is phenomenal, and it's a great palate cleanser to what I've been seeing lately, which has not been as phenomenal. You guys know what I'm talking about if you watched my last review. I'm not even going to get into it anymore. What did you guys think of the movie? Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys next time.